I'm not a political person, so I'm gonna keep this short. But if I were a political person, I would begin by saying that I'm not a political person. Although I do have government experience, which actually began back in 1998 when I ran for J.B. Thomas Middle School 7th grade student council and won by a landslide. My running platform was simple. Vote for me. I'm pretty. I'm not particularly proud of this, but it's the truth, and maybe that's why I'm just not a political person, because when it comes to politics, I have a hard time knowing what's true and who's telling the truth. So I was having dinner with a friend recently, a friend who happens to be a very political person, you know? And so we're talking, he's talking, and I'm nodding along as he's telling me about all the latest and greatest political news headlines. And so I'm nodding along as if, I too have been doing my civic duty and keeping abreast of all the latest and greatest political news headlines. So I'm nodding along, and between bites of hummus, I hear him say, "Oh, did you hear what Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance said about cats?" Go on. Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance said that single women with cats should not be allowed to vote. Now, singling out single people is a little weird to me and also rude, but the cats? The cats? The cats? As if cats had not been vilified enough over the centuries. And now he's saying that single women who own them should have limited voting rights? And it was at this moment, on August 6th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Lebanese restaurant down on the corner of 11th and Jefferson that I became a political person. Now, you might think that I might say something like, well, on behalf of all the cats, don't vote for that. I'm not going to say that, because the truth is, cats can speak for themselves. Cats can talk. One of the most common fallacies is that they can't, but cats actually have a vocabulary of 50 to 60 definitely distinguishable words. Words formed by nuances of sound. Sound coming from the cat's highly developed vocal cords paired along with the proper facial expression. In a recent press release, the cat said, unlike some candidates who belittle and ridicule us, Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz makes us feel seen. Tim Walz is like a ray of sunshine we would bask in for hours without moving. Obviously, I'm not actually a political person, but I do have a political cat. And so one day, I asked him his thoughts. I said, who do you want to be the president of the United States? And he said, you want to know what he said?
What he said?
I'll tell you what he, you know what, no, I'm gonna tell you what he actually said. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is the truth. This is what he said. This is what he said. This is what he actually said. This is what he said. He said. Because she's pretty. Thank you.